Welcome back students to the lecture series on Introduction to AWS. Today we will be looking at various AWS services which are being provisioned from AWS. So let us begin today's session. AWS has been providing more than 200 fully functional services, out of which one type of service is compute. Under compute, we do have various services over here, starting with Amazon's EC2, where AWS provides virtual servers to the customers, where various kinds of virtual servers can be deployed on top of AWS. And we do have auto scaling of EC2. Think suppose you had hosted an website on top of EC2, and this website is being exposed to clients from outside. Just think that this website is a Flipkart website. As we all know that Flipkart provides big billion days. On that special days, billions or millions of customers will hit this particular website. If you are going to enable this particular auto scaling feature, then automatically AWS, what it does is it will be deploying as the number of EC2s as it requires, which is said as auto scaling. Once the big billion days over, then it will be reducing all these servers, which we can say as it is a feature of elastic, where scaling up of the resources or scaling down of the resources. Third one is elastic load balancer. When you are scaling up these many resources, when millions of requests hit this particular server, this should be balanced amongst all the servers. That is being done by elastic load balancer. What it does is it routes the traffic equally amongst all the servers which are being deployed. Next service is Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk is a service which is going to be providing the developers to deploy various applications on top of Beanstalk. Whereas we do have Lambda service, which provides the developers to run their code without having any stress of what type of servers or infrastructure they are being running, or else you can say it is executed on the background, or back-end execution is going to be happening. And to execute the code, we will be using Lambda service. After this, let us move on to the other service, which can be said as under storage will be provided with S3, EBS, Storage Gateway, EFS, CloudFront and Glacier. S3 stands for Simple Storage Service, where it provides to store static data in the form of objects. So it can be also said as object store, and which is immutable. S3 Glacier, which is also an object store, but it provides to archive the data. And when we compare with between S3 and S3 Glacier, S3 Glacier is having low cost, they charges low cost, but at the same time it takes more time to retrieve the data or to store the data, as it is being charged less. Elastic Block Storage, EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. This is a block store which comes along with your EC2, and it provides high IOPS, input output operations, because of which this has been coming along with your EC2 as EC2 volume to store various type of data from EC2. We do have CloudFront. CloudFront is an delivery content manager or content delivery manager. It provides delivery of content, which we basically use to split static content from dynamic content when we are going with websites, where on websites we do have certain dynamic content as well as static content. It should be splitted, and the content should be delivered over the network with high performance. In certain scenarios we will be using CloudFront service. Storage gateway, it provides a secured gateway to various storage devices when they are being deployed on virtual private clouds. Lastly, it is EFS. It is an EFS stands for Elastic File Storage, where this file system, it provides a managed file system if we are been connecting with EC2 services. This EFS as well as EBS are attached to EC2 itself. Next, we will be focusing on application integration. Application integration, where we are going to have SES, SNS, SQS, Event Bridge and MQ. SES stands for Simple Email Service, where if you are going to integrate this with your application, this particular service will be sending you the alert mails to your mailbox. SNS, it is a simple notification service which provides the alert messages when you are integrating it with the application in the form of notifications. SQS, it is a service which stands for Simple Queue Service, where the messages will be managed in a particular queue. Whereas message brokers, this will automate all the messages which are needed to be transferred from one EC2 to another EC2. As well as we do have Event Bridge, which acts as a software as a service when you integrate it with various applications, a serverless software as a service. Moving further, the networking. We do have various concepts under networking, where we start with virtual private cloud, Route 53, Direct Connect, Transit Gateway, API and Private Link. When we are launching certain services such as EC2, S3 and so on, if all these resources needs to be in your private cloud, or you can say it as a private network which is being accessed by you, then we will be using virtual private cloud. All the services will be running as if it is on your premise. Route 53 is used to route between domain name systems and the IP addresses. It will direct the traffic whichever is coming from outside from your domain name to the IP address of the server where exactly your application is being launched. Direct Connect, it provides you a dedicated network from your organization to the AWS services which you are being accessing. Private Link, it provides you a private networking for higher security and to the access of the services which are hosted on cloud. We do have API Gateway, which will build, manage, secure and deploy all various APIs. Transit Gateway, it is a scalable network which will be acting between one VPC and between another VPC. If you do have virtual private cloud 1, virtual private cloud 2, if you want to have a secure communication between these two virtual private clouds, then you can use transit gateway. Moving further, management tools. All these are the categories which falls under managing all the services such as operational works, config, CloudTrail, trusted advisor, cloud formation, CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a service which monitors what sort of resources you are been using and what sort of applications has been deployed, and every monitoring managing part is being done by CloudWatch service. If you are going with the operation works, then it will be working to configure various configurations by using two tools, one is Chef and the other one is Puppet, to reduce the manual work and to enhance the automation work. Ops works facilitates you a better provision. Coming to AWS config, it tracks what sort of resources you had been using from past history and what sort of changes you are making. All those logs are going to be managed by AWS config if you are being accessing this particular service. CloudTrail tracks all the user activities and how those APIs are being accessed in the form of logs, as all these are the services falls under management. So all these are related to what type of services you are been accessing. As well as trusted advisor, it optimizes the network performance and enhances the security by providing only the authorized persons to access the services. So coming to next, over here we will be discussing some more things. Security and identity management, where we do have certain services, starting with IAM role, one of the important service to allow who has to access what. It stands for identity and access management. AWS Shield, which protects your network from distributed denial of service attacks. Directory service to manage all sorts of access control lists in a particular active directories. KMS stands for key management service, which manages various keys generated from various cryptographic algorithms. It might be public or private. Got duty, it detects various threats, threat detection system to protect your system, and so on so forth. We do have container services, such as we can have EKS used for elastic Kubernetes service, where you can run, manage, deploy various automation tools on Kubernetes. As well as we do have ECS, elastic container service, where various fully managed Docker containers are going to be provisioned on that particular service. We do have registry also. Along with that, we do have a comparison between EKS and EKS anywhere, ECS and ECS anywhere. What is the difference between EKS and EKS anywhere? Just EKS anywhere provides customer deployed or customer managed environment. On that you can deploy EKS, whereas coming to EKS, it is normal service which is being deployed by AWS. Both the services are provisioned from AWS, but over here in whatever environment you are working, over there itself you can deploy EKS or ECS anywhere. Along with that, we do have Kubernetes, where you can have some part on your premise and some part on AWS. that is been collaborated using EKS distro, whereas Fragnet is a serverless container where containers will be running without having any worry related to where it will be running, a serverless computing. And last part of this session is various databases, where we will be focusing on Aurora, a high performance managed relational database. It has been developed and implemented by Amazon itself, and their quote that it is 5 times faster than any relational database. Along with the Aurora, we do have relational database services which can have the access to your MySQL, Oracle, SQL servers, MariaDB and PostgreSQL. Along with the SQL services, we do have some NoSQL databases such as DynamoDB, a NoSQL managed database developed by Amazon's, or else we can say it is a product of Amazon, a NoSQL database. Along with that, we do have a fully managed graph database in the form of Neptune. Along with that, we do have a data warehouse too, such as Redshift. Redshift is a data warehouse built on top of your Amazon and provided as a service. We do have a ledger database too, where it will be storing the data very securely in the form of encrypted form by using various cryptographic algorithms, a ledger database just like a blockchain. That is it from this session. Thank you.